Power Ledger. So, Power Ledger is a crypto designed for the energy sector. Now, I actually think Power Ledger has a shot of a little bit of a rally, but I'm not fully convinced as to new all-time high or anything like that. Part of that is down to the fact that the energy sector is a staggeringly slow-moving area. There is a thesis that I've got for why I don't think, how I think Power Ledger could hit a new high. There's also a thesis for why I think it won't. So I'll talk about all of that in this vid. Before I get into it though, guys, if you're new here and you don't know what the spreadsheet is, these are the first 26 coins that I did videos about on the channel. In the videos I showed myself buying up all of these coins. I expected that they were going to make me a lot of money. And you can see what these coins were worth when I recorded and released my videos on YouTube, and the highs that these coins hit in under a year and a half, and what your profit would have been if you'd have popped $100 into the coin when I released the vid, and then sold after 16 months. And if you'd have done that for all the coins, your total profit would have been over 123 grand. And in under a year and a half, that is pretty good. Now, I sold these, but I share all of the coins that I own on my website, copymycrypto.com. So when I find a coin that's going to make me a ton of money, I jump onto the site. I tell my members about the coin that I'm going to buy, the profits that I think that coin can have, and the percentage of my cash that I'm going to put into that coin. Members copy along exactly, which means they make the exact same money as me. That's why we have thousands of members on the sites, because they've made great money in crypto, and a lot of them don't know anything about crypto. Just copied along. And if you want to see what they've made, that's on the site, along with things I've said in the past. And the halving is imminent. We've got about 3 weeks for that. And if you've not got your portfolio sorted, check out copymycrypto.com, because it may well be able to help you out. So Power Ledger, right. First of all, long-term chart. It launched at a really, right at the end of the 2017-2018 bull cycle. So I don't think this spike is particularly fair in terms of its all-time high. Yes, it is all-time high technically as $2, or $2.01. However, I don't think that's a fair reflection of what it is, right? Because it was just right at the end of the bull cycle. Anything that launched right at the end had a real big spike before dropping. Now, Power Ledger is a tech company that builds software for distributed and decentralized energy markets for a sustainable future. It's developed a blockchain-based platform to track and trade energy. They have flexible services, and as well as flexibility services and environmental commodities. The goal is to provide the platform for a fully modernized, market-driven grid that offers consumers a choice in their energy. Basically, you're trying to disrupt the energy sector, driving the democratization of power, which is a fancy way of saying trying to disrupt all the big boys. That's a big friggin' job. It's headquartered in Switzerland. Power Ledger operates in more than 10 countries now, and it operates on 2 blockchain layers. The Power token is issued on Ethereum as an ERC20 token, and the Power Ledger blockchain, which is a native Solana-based blockchain, is used to process energy transactions on the more scalable network that is Solana. Now, the token acts as a license that's required for businesses such as utilities, renewable energy operators, microgrids, companies committed to 100% renewable energy, and property developers to access Power Ledger's platform. And it will be able to be used to pay for transactions on the Power Ledger blockchain in the future. 30 countries in 2015, 30 countries had reached grid parity, which means that the price of solar generated energy was equal or less than the cost of local retail electricity. However, I've highlighted some of the issues here. Now, again, I've said this before, check out Google Scholar. If you're interested in learning a bit more, check out the scholarly articles in and around the energy sector, particularly the renewable energy sector. There are massive challenges facing this. There are enormous upfront costs for the energy sector, for the renewable energy sector. They're expensive to develop, they're expensive to build. That means securing funding is not easy, especially for smaller projects. There's intermittency issues. obviously solar and wind are not, they're not permanently happening. So if they're not producing electricity all the time, it means you can lead to blackouts or brownouts. Public acceptance is piss poor. In the UK, the amount of times that there's been suggestions for wind turbines to be put in the countryside, and the local town residents are like, no, we don't want to see that, it ruins our view. That happens all the time. And obviously it's got competition with fossil fuels. All of these things have a big role in renewable energy. And while Power Ledger is working with some big names in the energy sector, while they are actually up and running and operating, the energy sector is so slow moving. There is a reason that there's 6 big corporations that run everything. There's a reason that they donate heavily to each political contender in an election year. Shell, as an example, will donate tons of money to not only the Conservatives in the UK, but also Labour, because either way, they win. And they can afford to do that. And they want to be able to influence whomever wins. And the energy sector, their lobbyists are incredible. They get stuff done. Or they stop stuff from being done is more accurate. Anyway, so the issue here for me, look, I actually don't, again, Power Ledger, I don't think that $2 is a fair all-time high. Obviously, it is its all-time high, but I actually think, I really look at last year as where its all-time high was. I don't think this is a fair thing. And I think you can effectively exclude that initial launch, and we can look at where did it get to. So it did about a 20x or so. It ran up to about 80 cents. I think it can beat 80 cents. I think it can hit $1. I think it can hit $1 this year, and it wouldn't shock me to potentially see it hit $1.50. Does it beat $2 is a big question. The only way I see that happening is with a huge external narrative around energy, a mainstream media narrative. Now, all the governments meeting in, is G20, right? They're all meeting in Brazil in September of this year. I think it's September. So I don't know why that month is in my head, but either way, they're all meeting in Brazil this year to discuss energy and to discuss their carbon targets, to discuss their battle with climate change, all of this stuff. And if there is what the governments have been doing, they set these targets for getting down to whatever it was, 2%, 1%, 2%, whatever, in terms of carbon leakage or however you want to describe it, by 2030. And it seems like very few of them are actually making any strides towards doing this. Now, if all of a sudden that shifts and they're going, what are we going to do? How are we going to finance? Who are we going to finance? How are we going to bring in renewables? If that becomes a massive talking point across all of mainstream media and it stays in the news cycles for a few weeks, then we can see a coin like Power Ledger or a coin like Energy Web Token doing quite well. We've seen it before. When ChatGPT bumps into the news, AI coins do very well. When Elon Musk tweets out about Dogecoin, meme coins do very well. This just happens. We've seen it time and time and time and time again. The problem is that you're trying to bet on that being the media narrative, and it might not be. Governments don't seem that arsed about it. They make statements, but they don't care. They probably don't believe it's real. Issues with climate, which, might not be. But you're betting on that being a huge narrative in the news cycle. I just don't. It's a risky bet to take, because we currently have issues in Israel right now. We currently have issues in Ukraine right now. There are the Julian Assange situation is going to be in the news. You know, all these things can just take over a news cycle very, very fast. One of the royals is ill. One of the royal family is ill or whatever. All these things can take over as news stories and disrupt a potential news story. So you can't bet on an external variable. That's why I think $1 is a fair target. But if, and it's a big bloody if, as I've just explained, that if energy becomes a huge talking point for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks, this can hit a new all-time high. This could, in theory, go anywhere from $2 to $4, just in terms of momentum that it would build across a few weeks. That's a big bet. It's not a bet I'd take. So, like I said, I think $1 is a fair target. But again, it's worth watching the news cycles when the governments meet in Brazil in, again, I think September, but don't hold me to that. Because if that's the news cycle that takes over, watch Power Ledger and Energy Web start moving. Yeah, that's my thesis anyway. Let me know what you guys think about that in the comments down below. Guys, if you want to make the same profits as me in this bull cycle, you can do. All you have to do is go to copymycrypto.com. That's the site I run where I share with my members every single coin I own. Anytime I find a crypto that I think is going to make me a lot of money, I jump onto the site. I tell my members about the coin that I'm going to buy, the profits it can have, and the percentage of my money I'm going to put in. Members can copy along exactly. When I sell a coin, I also do the same thing. I let my members know what coin I'm selling, why I'm selling it, and they can sell at the same time. The reason that I have thousands of members on my site is because they're making great money in crypto and they don't have to do anything. And a lot of my members know nothing about crypto, but have made great money. And if you want to see what they've made, go onto the site. It's all public record. You can verify it all. We have halving in a few weeks. If you do not have your portfolio sorted, now is the time, because if you wait a few months, it's going to be too late, guys. So check out copymycrypto.com because it can help you out. And that's it from me. Have a good day. Bye-bye.